Amanda Nunes is back. Amanda Nunes is back, and my God, were her hands looking crispy tonight. We saw a more patient and poised Nunes in this fight, and man, did it really pay off. She didn't gas out this time, so safe to say her cardio issue that I mentioned in my breakdown of the fight from her last meeting with Pena has been addressed with her new camp. Nunes chose to keep it on the feet for the start of the fight, and doing so, she became the first woman in UFC history to have 3 knockdowns in one fight, which, I mean, is just another notch added to her belt that's already littered with just an amazing amount of records. In rounds 3, 4, and 5, Nunes decided to start taking down Pena, which was risky because Pena's jiu-jitsu game is fantastic. I mean, she threw up about 25 submissions tonight, which I don't know if that's a record in its own right, but it's a hell of a lot of submissions. And when Nunes was on top mount, she just devastated Pena with shots. Alright, so let's take a look at round 1, where we had some quite crispy exchanges between the two combatants, and the first one I want to point out is this one. We're going to take a look at these replays, and this first one is Julianna coming with a left straight and Amanda with a beautiful hooking right that just puts Pena down onto the ground. And Pena had some moments, you know, she had a good 1-2 here and there, and this was a very back and forth round. I would still give it to Amanda, but it'd be a 10-9 for Amanda. Round 2 is where things start getting a little more interesting. So what we see in round 2 is Julianna with an other straight, missing Nunes responding with a hook, dropping Pena, and then dropping some shots on Pena from above. After that, you know, we see Pena bum rushing Nunes saying, hey, wait a minute, stopping in her tracks, hitting Pena, and completely flatlining Pena. This has to be one of the craziest knockdowns I've ever seen in any fight, male or female, but especially it's one of the most impressive knockdowns I've seen Amanda Nunes lay out. In round 3, things kind of take an interesting turn. So you see Pena's coming in with another punch, with a straight, and what Nunes does is uses Pena's momentum to initiate a clinch. And in this clinch, she drives into Pena, uses her leg to step around, and judo slams her to the mat in side control. Which, I mean, for Nunes being choked out in their last fight, to initiate a takedown is very risky, and that risk is immediately apparent. Julianna Pena was doing everything to throw up as many submissions as she could, isolating the arm, trying to get a high guard around the neck so she could initiate a triangle. And like I said, she threw around 25 submissions in this fight, so she was making Amanda Nunes bite. This wasn't just her laying on her back getting beat up. Julianna Pena was also an aggressor while laying on her back, and it was fantastic work by both ladies. Round 3 starts kind of interesting. Do a little glove tap. Nunes right away gets into full mount, which, I mean, this is the round that Julianna Pena really shows her submission pedigree. She's always putting Amanda in very awkward positions, isolating the arm, and this is the only round where I thought Amanda Nunes was really in some deep trouble. I mean, right over here, what Julianna Pena does is she positions Amanda up against the fence, isolates her arm, and you see in this photo she's yelling, she's pulling. See how close the referee is, he's looking closely at the action. Amanda uses her position on the fence to go into a north-south position, and this round actually ends with a clash of heads that staggers Nunes. But this was the only round where I thought Julianna Pena might just seal the deal and lock Amanda Nunes in an armbar to retain her title. So this round starts with an embrace of the fighters, which I always love to see good sportsmanship, but then it leads into Nunes initiating another takedown to put Julianna Pena in her full guard, and she's on top mount, and it leads to some ground and pound attempts. And Nunes actually kind of impresses me here, because even though Pena is throwing up submission attempts, Nunes transitions into north-south to try to sink in a choke of her own, but Pena walks her up and they continue exchanging on the feet a little bit. But this doesn't last too long because Nunes takes her down again, and this was a very close submission right here that Nunes almost sank in. Pena got out of it, and when it's all said and done, Nunes was announced the victor by unanimous decision by all judges. So let me know what you guys thought about this fight. Let me know what you guys thought about my breakdown and recap of the fight. I'd love to know. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.